I got diarrhea, and only hot girls get that disease.
Once I was here, I was not having a roof to live in.
Choose me.
It was such a mess.
Found my house through LinkedIn. I have gone through agency which charge exorbitant amount of money.
I found my first place through Facebook. I was like, what is CAF?
Yeah.
Because she was coming in and out every time she wanted it. Are you serious you can do this to students?
We don't talk about Bruno.
Exactly. It was also like weird, like
not having a house can also get you a husband. We're not French citizens.
Yeah.
So you need a guarantor. Your landlord is replying too quickly. You never know.
We can. That's a red flag. Like
when
jokes on you, clown.
We get drinks or like. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Masala and the
Salsa with Andrea
and Priyanjana. And firstly, we would like to apologize that we are a week late this time because when I came back to France, my flight and my train kept getting delayed, and then we had heavy snowfall, so we could not reach our studio. And then I got sick, so we could not record an episode for you guys.
Yeah, that's so sad. Sad that hot girls get what?
Okay, fine. I got diarrhea, and only hot girls get that disease. It's so funny to me that you know how India is associated with like having stomach issues when you go there. I was completely fine in India.
Yeah.
I come back to France and I get diarrhea.
I think you're getting sick of France, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Or is France getting sick of me?
How will we discover that? Anyways,
love me, choose me.
Yeah, that's a way to choose you, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, so welcome back again. This is our first episode of the year.
Yes. So bonne année.
Bonne année. We hope that you have had a nice Christmas with families or however you celebrate. That was a wonderful season. And well, this episode we're gonna be talking about housing problems.
Not problems. Let's just say housing problems follow.
Well, yes, that is true. And we're gonna talk as well like the perspective, different experiences that we have had, because it's not the same, even though we live in the same country, the processes and people that you have been living with and interacting with.
I mean, we've lived in the same vicinity, like even like not even the city, but like even the area we've lived in the same, but we have such different experiences.
Yes. So yeah, that's the topic of today. So do you want to start like by telling us how you found your first and only house?
Okay, people don't
living
need
here.
to know it's my only house. But yeah, I think for me, I was very lucky that I found a house before coming. And also because for us, it's required for our visa that we have our house in place. A lot of people, they just do like an Airbnb for 3 months or something of that sort to get their visas, and then they come and look for houses. So I would definitely suggest not to do that, because once you're here, it's even more difficult to get houses because, you know, it's the season when all the students are there, so you have empty houses, but then it becomes difficult. For me, I was lucky, and it's a hilarious story. I was talking to this guy on LinkedIn who was from our school, and I texted him about how the school is, and I just wanted to know, like, if I'm making the right decision of coming to the school. And you know how the process is. So he was helping me out with and just random person on the internet. And then once I got accepted to the school, I texted him that if he has any leads for houses, because school also gave us a list of houses, but all of them were either super expensive or they would just not respond because it was summers going on. So they would just like, the landlords are on vacation, they would not respond. Or you could have gone through agency, which charge exorbitant amount of money. So my idea was like, I'll either go to an agencies, and agencies generally they ask you like almost your 2 months of rent or something of that sort to, you know, just to start with, and then there's no guarantee you'll get the house. So I just thought, you know, what's the harm? I'll just ask this guy. And he gave me his landlord's number where he was living before, but then he moved to Paris for his internship.
Okay.
So he was not living in the same house. So he gave me his landlord's number.
The room was free for you to take.
Yeah. So I just texted the landlord. He was like, oh yeah, okay. And he sent me pictures and everything. I was still looking for other houses because this house was like a colocation, and it was like I had to share everything, but the location wise, it made perfect sense. It was a bit expensive if I look at now in retrospective. When I look at like other people, you know, they were getting at least private spaces, which
Mm.
I did not have that much space. But the location is great, and my landlord was great, so he did everything before I came. So yeah, I found my house through LinkedIn.
That's a weird way to get a house, huh? But I mean, it worked. It worked at least for you, and because I know like there has been other issues with those network and stuff. But anyways,
Yeah.
and
What about you? How did you get your house?
it was such a mess. Like you said, like at the beginning you have to find something, and I did to book an Airbnb just for the visa stuff.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you have to give information to the embassy and whatever that you were having already a place to live and blah blah. So I just booked that for a while, and then when I arrived here, I was not having a house, and I canceled my Airbnb actually. Well, after I got my visa, I canceled it. So
why did you cancel it?
Because it was too far. Anyway, it was too far. It was like south and outside the Lille.
Okay.
So I was like, it's not worth it. I just need a visa. Once I get there, like I will see. But at the same time, once I was here, I was not having a roof to live in. So I was like, oh. So that was challenging. And yeah, it's a full story, maybe in another episode. But the thing is, like, I found my first place through Facebook. And because when I was actually in France with a friend in Paris, I was searching for this information, like, oh, where can I find a place? And there are a lot of groups on Facebook where you can like live in and housing in XY cities and so on. So I was like just stalking the conversations happening there. Like sometimes the landlords, they say like, oh, I have a room or this or that.
Yeah.
So I found the first one, which was an hour away from school.
Yeah.
And you know, like how hard was those times for me. So I was like, it's either this or I stay homeless.
Yeah.
So, and actually, like the price of it wasn't that great. And because at this time, I also didn't know exactly about the CAF. I mean, the landlord, he said to me like, oh, I will do the best. So you can get CAF like very fast, very quick. And I was like, what is CAF?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to do the contract and this and that. And so blah, blah, blah. So I was new here. I didn't know about the CAF. So I was like, ended up paying the whole amount of rent without getting any retroactive after it. But that wasn't. I was just living in that house for three months only. Yeah. Then I found classmates that they were saying like, oh, we're having a room and you can talk to the landlord and this and that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And this was actually very close to the school, like 5 minutes walking. And then this one, the landlord was like, she was coming in and out every time she wanted it. And then I got to know.
But she didn't live with you?
No. But she was having the key of the house and she was coming like whenever she wanted. And sometimes I was even at school, I was coming back to the house and she was there. Yeah. And we were like, what the fuck? I mean, like, it was okay. She was nice whenever she was there, but it was a bit of annoying.
Yeah, like it's your private space. You expect privacy.
Yeah, exactly. And she was like there on the tiny living room, watching TV and stuff. It was nice at the same time because it was like a kind of that type of improve our French with her. She was not speaking English at all or whatever. But yeah, that was annoying at some times. And then the third house, I have to move because actually this landlord, she said like, oh, it's gonna be you're finishing your school year, you cannot stay longer here. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yes, it's stated on your contract. And I'm like, are you serious you can do this to students? And it's a scholar year only contract. And I'm like, oh no, but like, what do you mean? I didn't see this. I was not seeing this coming. And then she's like, yeah, you then just let me know when your contract finishes in June, at the end of June. If you need 15 more days in July, I can give it, but no more. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I finished the school and everything, but I need to find an internship.
And also at that time, you didn't know where you'll be interning.
Exactly. So I was like, what the fuck? What do I do? And I started looking again for new houses. I did again the search on Facebook, and through this site, don't remember the name. We might put the name of the agency. It's not agency. It's,
because by July I was in India with my 2 broken legs, so I could not help you.
Yeah, no. But it's a a special site.
But I remember I also gave you an idea that you could have stayed in my room till the time I come back, because I was not coming back for 2 months with my legs. They're like, oh, if you need a place for 2 months, you could stay at my house.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my landlord was like, okay, I can, do that.
Yeah, no, I remember, but I found out another friend who actually could host me for like 2 months, and after during this period of time, I was like, I searched for this other place, and then I spoke to the guy, to the person in charge of the roommate, because it was also like weird. Like the roommate was the one who was
They might watch
deciding,
the episode because
who was deciding who she will choose
yeah,
to stay, and like asking a lot of questions. And I mean, it's fine because you really get
You
the
live with
glimpse
them.
of how are you gonna be living with them, how are you gonna be like, stuff like that. And then once she approved my application and my conversation and everything, she said, okay, I'm gonna send you the contact of the landlord. So
yeah. So this again you found through Facebook.
yes, it's been only through Facebook groups. So there is a lot. You have to be, of course, careful.
Yeah.
But
because
thankfully, I was lucky on that sense,
Yeah.
but not lucky on moving house after
So
house and
this
after
is
house.
now your third house or fourth.
Yes, the third and last.
Last. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Like last.
So, so that's my experience. 3 houses.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not always the case. Like sometimes not having a house can also get you a husband.
Wink, wink.
Because one of our classmates, she did not have a house, so she had to like live in the hostel for a week, and that's where she met her future husband. They started like dating, and now they're married. So
Yeah, that's
meet
true.
cutes can also happen. But you also remember, like with Facebook, like we want to warn our listeners that it could also be like super super scary, because what if you get scammed? You remember one of our friends who got scammed with
Yes. Yeah, I mean that was one of the scariest things, or when you know,
Yeah.
like you're afraid of like, if I contact this person, then it's a scam and what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and it was such a, we should actually call her and ask her to
Yeah.
explain the story, what happened.
Let's see.
You're recording the screen.
Hello.
Hello. One second. Tell me.
So we are recording an episode of the Masala and the Salsa podcast, and we were talking about housing. So we wanted to ask your experience of how you got scammed through Facebook.
Interesting story. Okay, so well, I was moving to Lyon and I wanted to check for houses. Of course, so I went and listed. Found a group called Housing in Lyon. And I put out a post there saying, hi, I'm looking for this, I'll be coming on this date, this is my budget and stuff. So many people reached out, and there was one person who reached out and sent pictures of the house, everything looked nice. Then I was like, okay, can you send me a recording of the house? So they asked the person who was staying in the house to record it. So I got the whole recording of the house. And then it was all good. So I was like, okay, can you send me your details, because I wanted to confirm if it was scam or not. So he sent me his T3, which is the resident card. And it seemed very genuine because of that card. And then he sent me the contract. I read through, everything was fine. So I signed everything, sent it back. Then I paid the first month's deposit. And then the suspicion started to kick in, because he started demanding that I pay 2 months rent in advance. I was like,
and how much that would
Yeah.
be, like to give a ballpark figure.
So 1 month was 480 euros.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 months.
Oh my.
Then
You
then-
pay that.
You paid
You
all
paid
that.
all of that.
I paid only the deposit.
Okay.
And how much was the
I
deposit?
had 480, 1 month rent.
Okay.
And then they asked if I could pay the first month's rent and the second month's rent together. I was like, I haven't even seen the place. So if it's fine by you, I've already paid the deposit, right? I will come for sure. I sent him my flight ticket also to make to make sure that please don't rent it to someone else. I will be coming.
Uh-huh.
And then he started testing. He sent like 50 emails and stuff. Hey, it's better that you pay and blah 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 blah. Okay, this is something weird. And then I asked if I could speak to the person staying in the room. So he's like, yeah, sure. He sent her number, and I texted her on WhatsApp, and she seemed fine. She reassured me of everything and stuff. And then
And you spoke to her like on a call or
no, on text.
okay.
And then he said that, oh, you can trust. So the guy's name is Mr. Bruno, the landlord.
Yeah,
Okay?
very French. We don't talk about Bruno.
Exactly. Coco movie.
So he's like, yeah, you can trust Mr. Bruno completely. I know he's asking for 2 months rent, and you can give it to. I was like, excuse me, I never told her that I have to pay. He's asked me 2 months rent in advance. How does she know that information? Like, it's irrelevant that a tenant staying in the house knows that information. I was like, okay, something's weird here. And then the next day, I ended up asking her if I can call to speak to her. And she's like, no, my grandmom's in the hospital. And she sent a picture of her grandma in a bed in the hospital with the IV drops attached. And I'm like,
Very
okay,
specific.
I did not want that picture. And then she's like, oh, but you can trust me. Here's a photo of myself. And she sent me a photo of a girl who is a Colombian girl with dark hair. And I was like, okay, but the video that was sent to me earlier, that was taken by this supposed tenant. And in that video, she does show herself in the mirror, and it's a French girl with blonde hair.
Wow.
That's some Sherlock Holmes shit she's
They
doing.
might be twins, huh?
I mean, the height difference was also shorter and stuff. It looked so weird. And then I asked Mr. Bruno if he can send me his contact. Like, I could call him and, in case of an emergency. And, get it checked and stuff. And he's like, no, so he gave me the number. He's like, but please don't call me on this number because it's going under some investigation because some person has impersonated it. And then I noticed that he had deactivated his Facebook account. So I asked him about it. And he's like, oh yeah, because my number is under investigation. So my phone number, my Facebook account is also deactivated. I was like, you do not need your phone number for a Facebook account. So this link didn't fit well. And then I had a lawyer friend, so I gave her the ID, the teacher, and she ran by the system. Like, they have a government portal where they can check IDs to see
I
if
think that
it's
should
valid
be
or
made
not.
open for everyone so we can check with our landlords,
Yeah.
Like in India, we have, you could just put up your the social security number and see who's coming to your house so you know that the person is legit or not. I think they should do it.
Exactly. So I checked it with the lawyer friend that I have, and no information came up. So I was like,
So
okay,
your house was
sure.
rented by a ghost?
So I was like, okay, I'm sure I'm being scammed here.
Yeah.
And his emails still start coming, so I start looping in my dad with all the conversation. And he's like, no, you guys are disrespecting me. I'm a very truthful person. Your suspicion towards me is totally false.
The audacity.
This is not true.
But did you get your money back, the deposit that you submit?
So in the end, I was like, okay, I need my deposit back. And then he's like, to just prove that I'm a truthful person, I will give it to you. I was like, okay. And then I sent him my bank account details. He transferred the money, and then he sent a mail saying that, oh, so the bank has restricted the transfer. You need to transfer 250 euros first. And as soon as you transfer that, the 480 euros of the rent will be credited to your account. I was like, am I dumb? Like, why would I pay 250 euros to get a transfer to a French bank account? That didn't make sense at all.
Right.
So I was like, okay, my 480 euros are gone. I'm not going to, pester more. I tried asking and stuff, explaining him how bank transfers actually work. But nothing helped. So in the end, I lost the 480 euros.
But you could have
After
lost
Lyon.
more
I
and
could
be
have
homeless
lost that.
once you went to Lyon.
Yeah. So I just decided to get a house through an agency next, through a guarantee and a proper agency.
So how much do you have to
I
pay
made-
if you go through an agency?
It's completely safe to go through an agency. It's just that you have to pay the agency
Fee.
some fees,
Mm-hmm.
and
How much
also
is
you
it
need a
generally
guarantee.
for our audience to know? How much is like an agency fee?
It depends on the property, but here since I was renting for like a year, I mean for 6 months, it was about 200 euros.
Okay. And because this is something I've also heard like about guarantors. Because we're not
Yes.
French citizens.
Yeah.
So you need a guarantor. How does that work with the agencies?
So there are two guarantors. Basically, you have Vishal and then you have Guarant Me.
Okay.
Now, Vishal is a free guarantor provided by the government. But the process of the application being submitted is quite, I mean, there's no guarantee that you might get the guarantee or not through Vishal. So, like with my application, I had submitted it thrice.
Yeah.
And each time they were like, okay, we are missing a document. Can you please I've submitted everything. But still, they kept asking for, like, this, it's not streamlined.
Classic French diplomacy.
Yeah, it keeps delaying your process. So in the end, I decided to go with Guarant Me, which is the paid one, because I needed to get the flat at an urgence. And there, you just submit all your contracts, the agency contract, your bank statements, your contract with the company, or with the with the college if you're a student. And it's about if it's for a year, it's 215 euros. But if you leave the house midway, like at 6 months, you can claim for a refund of the remaining amount.
Okay.
So you get the half the amount refunded.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So that was good for me.
Okay. Thank you for giving us that information, and we will speak to you later.
Of course, anytime. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was a roller coaster.
Imagine, no, I cannot be spending money like that way, be
Yeah,
scammed.
like spending almost 500 euros and
Yeah.
not having, and also the anxiety because you're going to be in that city soon with all your luggage and
Yeah.
knowing no one.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, lucky. I think we could call us lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, what would you think are the green and red flags of your, I don't know, your landlord?
I mean, not landlord. I think I would specifically talk about like green and red flags about housing. I think one is if you're going through an agency, of course, there's like it's a check already done, but that also means you have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think, in my opinion, it's always nicer to have like if you don't want to risk it and you can afford it, it's always better to go through an agency or go through school. I think
Yeah.
that's really important.
Yeah, the thing with the school, I think, is like you have to be very quick and fast. Once you get I mean, if you have applied for the school since a long time and you're one of the first that you're getting accepted or whatever, then start. But if you apply later and then you get accepted late,
Yeah.
that's also like
I
an
think
issue.
the other red flag I would suggest is if, in the beginning your landlord is replying too quickly, because we know French people do not do anything in the month of August or like Christmas, and that's the time when because either you start in September or you start in January. So before that, it's always vacation time. So if your landlord is replying too quickly, maybe that's like a beige flag that something is wrong. Because I know how many times I had to reach my landlord before he could respond me. Even though my friend gave me his number and everything, I reached out to him. I wrote to him twice and there was no response. And then the third time, I actually had to ask the same guy from LinkedIn that, he's not responding. Do you have any other channel I could reach out to him? And then he texted my landlord and then I got a response.
Okay.
So I think that really helped. But also, like, in a lot of cases, if you've, like, us as students, it's easier to get the house because we don't need to, like, prove income that much. And, it's between you and your landlord or you when you're going through the agency. But the other thing is, if you have like a CDD or a CDI, then and you're trying to find an apartment, then it becomes more difficult because you need to show that you earn 3 times the rent of
The
your
place
house.
a year. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think next apartment or anything that we would rent,
We will have to have
that will be even more difficult than it was. But I think now we've learned living here in France that
that we know how to handle those things now.
We hope we can handle those things. You never know.
We can.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, so
yeah.
what about you? What are your green and red flags in a landlord?
But in my case, I mean, I think everything went green.
Except when she was lounging in your room.
Yeah, for that part in the landlord, like that's a red flag. Like I learned later on that landlords are not they don't have the permission to be getting into your place once you are renting the place. Like it's weird, don't you get that? Like, but apart from that, probably another red flag is like if you are having any issues in the place and they don't act quickly, or I mean, and it takes time in every house or situation, whatever here in France, you know how people is. But yeah, I mean, like sometimes they do things like the reparation or stuff quickly. I think that's a green flag that you have with your landlord because he fixes things the fastest he can.
Yeah, for me, I think identity or thing, because my landlord lives in the same house as me, so that has really helped. Because for you would have to text and wait for her to come. For me, because he was living on the ground floor and I was living on the second floor, so it was, I'm texting. If he doesn't respond, I can always, go down and knock on his door that, it is a problem. And which I would not do because, I respect his personal space. But when I broke my legs, he was there. Like, I wasn't going to bother him because I was like, oh, it's not that much. And then my roommate, he was like, no, we need the landlord to help because what the fuck is wrong with you? You have broken feet. So I remember like my landlord, he did not wait for the ambulance or anything. He was like, he just put me in his car and drove me to the hospital. And he even gave me his son's crutches to walk. They're like, oh, my son broke his leg last year. These are his crutches. You can use them. And I'm like, so are we certain I have a broken leg?
Yeah, like that's the good thing that you have been living like in the house's landlord.
Yeah.
And that way the landlord can help you, but other else is you don't even get to see the landlord.
Because I remember before I was coming here, I was under this impression that, I'm going to live in a studio, I'm going to live alone, I can manage my things myself. And when
Joke's on you, clown.
When all this happened, I was like, I am really glad that I was living in a colocacio and I was living with the landlord.
I mean, looking back now, all the things that have happened to you, it's like...
and like even in future, if
you're lucky.
Yeah, like even if in future I have to choose, I would choose a place where at least I have colocas, like I have roommates. Like maybe landlord not that much because I wouldn't mind, but having colocasio like really helps because what if because like even now, like my landlord, we have like full autonomy, like we don't share anything apart from the stairs, and that's you share it once a day, you're climbing and he's also climbing, then you meet, otherwise there's no way you'd see each other. But my landlord and I have this point, like once a month we get drinks, or like every 2 months we get dinner together. So sometimes I cook or sometimes he cooks.
So lovely. That's a dream house.
Yeah, so it's really nice. Yeah, no, he's been super nice, and he's also helped me with, he has introduced me to other people to find jobs and stuff like that. So I think I've been very lucky in that area. But let's see how it goes in the future.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, at some point I think it's also better to live by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to.
We'll see.
Yeah, like
we'll see how life evolves as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to get out and like have my own place where at least I have my privacy. But currently, because with the I can't afford like a big house here.
Yeah,
and something like when you've lived in your own country with that kind of like autonomy over your things, it becomes a bit difficult. Because when I was living in India, so when I live with my family, I have my own room and own bathroom, so I don't have to think about sharing the toilet, or like, oh, I can't shower right now because somebody else is in the shower. Those things I don't have to think about. But at the same time, I have lived in hostels in India, and then when I was living so when I was working in India, I was living with my cousin. So then I had to share like the bathroom. So like I've lived in different things, and I do want that private space now. But let's see when can I afford it.
Yeah, let's see. Anyways, like any advice that you want to give to our audience about when they start finding a
I think one,
house?
begin your process as early as possible. Like
True.
even if you do not have like a letter from school that you're accepted, maybe just start snooping around and start looking at places. Use Google Maps to
Yeah.
see where you are, like, how you ended up 1 hour away.
Yes.
For me, that was really important to make sure that the house was close by, and that's the reason I paid a little more as well, because then I'm saving a lot of money on not buying the metro or the bus pass, because for me it was like 10 minutes of walking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and also like look for amenities, because like certain amenities that I don't have in this house, like I don't have washing machine, which means I'll have to go to a
To the
laundromat.
laundromat. Uh-huh.
So maybe look for those, but you eventually, it is about compromise. So you have to pick and choose what you want and what you don't want. If you want to live in the city center, it will be more expensive. But I think one important thing that we missed out is CAF. You want to explain to our audience what CAF is and people who are coming?
Well, CAF, we have spoken about it, but just a quickly reminder, CAF is Casa de Alocación Familiar, which is it's a help, financial aid from the government, which supports students or people that doesn't have like a great incomes, or I don't know, like economic issues. And the government gives you according to what your profile is. If like I said, like if you're a student or I don't know anything, something else, then check your profile, and then they will evaluate how much of the financial aid by the government you might need, and according also on the place that you live, how much they are gonna give you as like to pay part of the total amount of your rent.
And if not, you can check our video. We'll link it in the description, so
Yeah.
you can watch that.
So
Your advice is?
yeah, no, I mean, like you can do as I did, or as Priyanjana Masala did, or as our friend did. But I think we just need to be very aware of we're not falling into a scams and stuff like that. But I did my search and have been renting through Facebook. I have been always like very.
But you physically also go and check the house.
Yes, because I've been here.
Yeah.
But that's my case, because since the first moment I was here, I had the chance to go and see the houses at the place, not from internet or far away. So yeah, I mean, just make sure that you also, the landlord can give you, I don't know, a previous person that lived there, so you can actually confirm that the landlord is legit or something like that. And like I said, like there are a lot of websites where you can also find different places with not agency, because agency, I was always running away from agency because I had to pay an extra fee.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna risk it. I know what are the risks, but if you are very careful on looking what house you can rent and stuff like that, then you will end up with a good deals, and like finding a house with not agency and be getting a little bit of luck in that sense.
Or just stalk people on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our takes. That's our experiences shared about housing. Thank you once
À la
again.
prochaine.
À la prochaine.